Yo, what's up guys, it's CJ here with another Back for Blood build, and this is the Squishy Sniper build. This build is probably one of my favorites for damage, like pure unrivaled damage. For instance, in the video capture for the trailer that we did for the opening scene of this video, we dealt near on 370,000 damage, I believe, if I remember rightly. So we did 370,000 damage within the first 2 levels, which is crazy amounts of damage. But a word of warning, the sniper class as a whole is ill suited to no hope difficulty, so unless you have someone specifically covering you in your squad, you probably won't want to run this on no hope. But anything that's below no hope you should get away with without problem. Anyway guys, let's get on into the build and have a look at the card sets that we've got. Okay guys, so as per usual, let's go through the first set of 5 cards. So the first card in the first set is Hyper Focused. Then Reckless Strategy, Ridden Slayer, Tunnel Vision, and Patient Hunter. Now Hyper Focused is really easy, it's just 50% weak spot damage. Now you do have to be aware that it is going to mean that your move speed while you're shooting is reduced by 40%, so do be aware that you will be a little slower moving around when shooting. But that weak spot damage is second to none. You are going to deal so much damage with that. Then we have some other cards for stacking of that weak spot damage. So Reckless Strategy, which is 30% increase in weak spot damage, and that does mean you're going to take a 5% increase in damage, so be aware of that as well. Then we have Ridden Slayer, which is 20% weak spot damage. So with just those 3 cards, so with Hyper Focused, Reckless Strategy, and Ridden Slayer, you have a 100% increase in the damage you deal to weak spots. I don't really need to tell you guys, I'm sure, how absolutely huge that is. Then we move on to Tunnel Vision. Again, another damage resistance debuff, so you're going to lose 5% damage resistance again. But for every 0.75 seconds you aim down sights, you're going to gain another 5% weak spot damage, up to 3 stacks, which means you're going to gain an extra 15% at max stacks, and it gives you 50% aim speed, which is really useful for those quick aim-in headshots that you need to sometimes pull off on close range targets. Then we have Patient Hunter. Patient Hunter is going to do the same kind of effect, so every 0.75 seconds you aim down sights, but this is going to increase your bullet damage by 10% up to 3 stacks, which means not only are you currently at 115% weak spot damage, but you're also going to be at 30% bullet damage while you're aiming down sights, which should mean that you one-tap pretty much most of the Ridden and some of the variants as well, based on whether you hit them in the weak spot or not. If you don't hit them in the weak spot, then don't expect to just one-tap a Tallboy, but you will if you do hit them in that weak spot, which is on, for instance, the Bruisers, which are the big hammery guys. They have like a red spot on the big arm. You can hit that spot and you will one-tap them. Same for the ones that grab you. They have a weak spot on their chin, so if you shoot them in the chin, not in the forehead, but in the chin, you will also one-tap them, which is huge. Now what we're going to do, let's move on to the second set of cards, so we can have a look at the extra damage potential that you have from those. So the first card of the second set is Glass Cannon, then Large Caliber Rounds, Combat Training, Silver Bullets, And finally, Confident Killer. So the first card, Glass Cannon, is going to be a massive 25% damage increase, which with your stacking previous buff is going to be a massive 55% increase from your normal base, which is huge. Then we have the downside of that card, which is you're going to lose 30% of your max health. Now, if you have a standard health pool of 100, that means you're going to have 97 HP instead. Now, generically at the start, you don't have huge amounts of HP, so losing that health isn't really a big thing unless you are trying to run like a tank build, etc. But that's not what we're trying to do this time, so let's carry on to the next card. So the next card, Large Caliber Rounds, is a 7.5% bullet damage increase and 200% bullet penetration. Now, one thing I will say about this card is it does mean that you can shoot through a lot of stuff. So if there's like 10 zombies in front of you that are all normal ridden, you fire off a shot and it will pass through most of those enemies, which means you can take down groups of 2 or 3 ridden that are just chasing after you really quickly and really easily. Then we have Combat Training. Now, Combat Training is another card we will have seen before, which is 5% bullet damage increase. Then we've got a bullet stumble damage and melee stumble damage. We don't really need to worry about the melee stumble damage, but the bullet stumble damage does mean that we do have the potential to stumble an enemy that's running at us, which is really good for the interrupt. Then we have Silver Bullets, and that's again 10% bullet damage and 15% effective bullet range, which means you can hit those long range headshots. Now, I will say in Back 4 Blood, the sniper class is pretty ill equipped because most of the areas are kind of close quarters. So you're gonna find the longer corridors that you can use are gonna be like the absolute heaven for you, and then those close range small corridors for CQB is going to be like the opposite. It's going to be hell for you. So just be aware as well that in those close environments, if your teammates do run in front of you, this build in particular, when you've got it fully built and you've got max stacks, if you shoot your teammate, you're going to take 3/4 of their health off if you don't one tap them. Then the last card of the second set is Confident Killer. We've seen this one before a lot. It's probably one of the best cards, I think, just in general in all of the decks is Confident Killer, and that's because every time you kill a mutation, you're going to gain 1% damage up to a max of 15% until the end of the level, which with all of our other damage cards already is going to be massive. So that does it for the second set. Let's move on to the third and final set, and then we will go through weapons and the cleaner to use this with. So the first card of the third set is Stock Pouch, then High Vis Sights, Shooting Gloves, Front Sight Focus, and finally Scar Tissue. So the first card of this set is Stock Pouch. This is going to give you 30% increased sniper ammo capacity, which means that generically you shouldn't really run out of ammo because you can't blast it down your sniper rifle fast enough to just run out. It's not really like the bullet hose build we did previously where you just absolutely hammer through ammo. Because you're all about the precision, your main target should be the big guys, so you are going to want to just kind of keep some ammo for those particular guys. The other benefit of this card as well is the 10% damage with sniper rifles, which is a nice little uplift considering the amount of stacking damage we have already. Then we got High Vis Sights. Now High Vis Sights, I know this is kind of a bit of a weird card, why would you add it? But this is mainly for the aim speed and the move speed while ADS'd, and this is to counteract some of the earlier cards that do impact your move speed while ADS'd or firing. The same with the whole 15% move speed while firing, it's just purely to counter it a little bit and give you a bit more maneuverability while firing. Then we've got shooting gloves. Now shooting gloves is weapon swap speed, it's recoil control and accuracy. This is important because of the fact that sometimes you might need to hip fire your sniper rifle, and it is going to be really intrinsic that you actually hit those shots, because you don't want to get hit with the cleaner that we are going to be running. Then we got front sight focus. Now this is going to give you more accuracy again with the shooting gloves, and it's going to give you 10% weak spot damage, 15% aim speed and 15% recoil control. And again, this is for those quick snap in shots, and also to make sure that when you do have that recoil, it is minimized a little bit. Then the final card of the set is Scar Tissue. You guys will know that I like to run Scar Tissue in pretty much most of my builds, and this is just to take the edge off of the damage that you will take. With this particular build, you do not want to be taking damage, like at all. Like if you can avoid it, standing up on trucks, making sure your teammates surround the trucks to deal with the hordes, etc, etc. Doing anything you can to try and avoid damage is like super important in this build, because of how squishy you are. Now, when I say squishy, I mean one horde in the intro recording that I did hit me and took me to maybe 15 HP. You see, like at the start of when I first start the second level, I'm already at 40 HP, and that's because of just one engagement that went slightly wrong, and I needed my AI to take the brunt of the force. But realistically speaking, if you are running this with friends, you are going to one-tap pretty much every mutation, other than obviously the boss mutations, for instance the Hag, the Ogre, etc. Okay, so the cleaner to run this build with is Jim. Now again, with this in particular, it is really important that you don't get hit, and that's due to Jim's passive. Now I will reiterate again, Back 4 Blood is not the ideal environment for a sniper. Like, when I say it's not the ideal environment, it's pretty badly suited for the sniper rifle build. And generically speaking, that's just because of the fact that the zombies will run up to you, they'll run from every angle, and all it takes is one of them to deal damage to you, and you're going to lose the 2.5% stacking damage that he gets. Now, Jim has the passive of that 2.5 stacking damage until he takes damage. He's going to gain 25% reload speed, and he gives the entire team, including yourself, 10% increased weak spot damage again. So along with all of the other stacking cards, we gain another 10% weak spot damage upgrade. And as long as you don't get hit, you'll be able to stack damage continually, meaning sometimes you're going to deal a lot of damage to certain mutations. There is only one weapon that you can really run with this build. Jim generically will start with the Phoenix sniper rifle, but let's be honest, when you're comparing sniper rifles, none more famous and more harrowing, I suppose, than the Barrett 50 cal. The Barrett is an amazing weapon, especially in Back 4 Blood. I would like to see it buffed a little bit. Now I know some people will be like, yeah, but why? Now, the reason why is because I could shoot a soldier zombie, so one of the soldier riddens with the green armor, in the head with the Barrett 50 cal, and it will only take the helmet off. But I could also do that with a pistol, and it will take the helmet off. So why is it that the Barrett 50 cal's rifle, caliber round, would do the same amount of damage as a pistol bullet? The penetration doesn't get taken into account. The other damage cards don't get taken into account. It's like it has two lives on on the army zombies and even the police zombies with the riot gear. So for me, I'd like to see a bit of a buff to the sniper. Maybe it's a card that gets added at some point or something like that. That just means that your penetration now applies to armor plates as well, which would kind of make the sniper build a lot more redeemable, especially in no hope difficulty, because when those kind of tall boys come out and the exploders, etc., and they have the armor platings on them, you can get your sniper to take those kind of guys out regardless of the armor plating, which kind of makes the sniper build a bit more viable. And I think it would just be a nicer addition to the game to have that card. Obviously, you'd have to make sure that it was only with sniper rifles that it would apply, so that you don't just grab an LMG and do true damage instead of having to take the armor plates off first. But I digress. Anyway, the Barrett 50 cal is by far the best weapon to run this build with. The Phoenix is good, so when you are starting out with the Phoenix, it is good. You can kind of deal with it, and it does do decent damage to get you started. But if you have some burn cards to upgrade your sniper rifle, like early game, that's gonna really be a game changer for you for sure. Anyway, guys, that is this build. I hope you guys enjoyed. I want to say a massive thank you to you guys as well. We're already like well on our way to our February goal, which is next month, which is ridiculous. Honestly, I still can't believe the amount of love and support you guys have given on YouTube. The comments that I get on a regular basis saying that like you guys are enjoying the builds and things like that, it really does make this all worth it. So guys, if you do enjoy the video, please like and think about subscribing and hitting the notification bell for the next videos. I am going to be looking at doing other content as well as Back 4 Blood. So one of the major ones recently is something that my wife and I have been working on with regards to Minecraft Storm Block 3. So if that's something that you are interested in, please feel free to let me know in the comments, so I know that you guys are interested in other content, not just Back 4 Blood. The other thing as well is, if you would like to, you can come and say hi and catch me on Twitch. I'm a pretty approachable guy and I do stream with a webcam, so if you want to see what I look like, then that's where to go. Also, I play a ton of different video games on live stream. The game I've been playing most is called Hunt Showdown. I don't know if you guys know it, but if you look through my shorts, that's the game that's in most of my shorts. Anyway guys, that's it for me. I hope you guys had a wonderful New Year celebration, and I hope you guys are having a great start to the new year, and I am looking forward to the next build, which will be the LMG build. So I'm going to be looking at trying to make one that's not necessarily the bullet hose build, so not really memey, but in fact actually a working LMG build that you can run either offline or online in no hope difficulty. So guys, wish me luck with that, and I will see you in the next video. Peace out.